tonight. Thank you, Marissa, for the reminder. And I need to tell you that so that you're not unaware that it is being recorded. And the hope would be to put it up on the website. So we'll see if that works.
When he's riding a motorcycle.
Okay, so hopefully you have found the minutes somewhere and you can take a quick look. And I think we are about ready to get started. Board members, is there anything I'm forgetting? Are we ready to roll? Okay. Thank you for continuing to check the waiting room for me. Okay. So we're going to call this meeting to order. We are at 7:05. So again, thanks everybody for joining tonight. And I'm sure we'll have some more people as time goes on. If you need to go at some point because life's busy and crazy right now, that's okay. You can always join back later. And like I said, we are going to record the meeting and we'll hope to post it so you can catch up on all the exciting news of PTO. So first of all, my name is Amy Lignelli. I know a lot of you. There are some I haven't met yet. I am this year's PTO president, and I'm doing my best just like everybody else. And we're gonna just get through this. Hopefully it'll be good. If we lose connection, just know we're working really hard and we love our teachers and staff, okay? That's the bottom line. Hopefully if I lose connection, someone else on the board can chime in and keep things going for me, so that's good. Mr. Bentman, do you want to present the new teachers that might be with us tonight?
It looks like, I think looking at the attendance, we have 3 of the 6 maybe. So not with us today. We have Mr. Gunson, who I believe is not on this. Mr. Gunson is a 6th grade teacher. He's actually filling in for Mrs. Semo. So he is one of our cyber teachers. And with us, so we welcome him. We have Mr. Griffith. Mr. Griffith is not here this evening. Mr. Griffith is actually celebrating, I believe, his 2nd year, 2 years married anniversary. So he's kind of out celebrating tonight, which is great. And so Mr. Griffith is one of our new 6th grade teachers at North Coventry. And also not here, I don't think, Ms. Slomowitz. Ms. Slomowitz is a special education teacher in for Mrs. Talley. Mrs. Talley had her baby kind of at the end of last year. So she's at home with her new little one and will be joining us sometime in kind of beginning of October, mid-October. So Ms. Slomowitz is kind of holding down the fort till Mrs. Talley gets back. But with us this evening, we have Miss Kane. So I'm going to have Miss Kane, if you can unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself, some background, what you do here at North Coventry, and what you like to do on your free time, if you have free time.
Hi, my name is Kristen Kane. I'm a recent graduate of Westchester University. I spent a couple of years at Delaware County earning my associate's degree in early childhood, and then I transferred over to Westchester University to get my degree with early grades prep, which is how I landed here. Dr. Lloyd, a little fun fact was Dr. Lloyd was my principal when I went to Honeybrook Elementary Center in like early 2000s, I think. But I am the 1st grade long-term sub this year. And in my free time, I love to spend it at the shore in the winter, in the summer, all year round.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Kane. Dr. Lloyd had nothing but amazing things to say about you as a student, of course. So next up, we have Ms. Halavac. Ms. Halavac.
Thank you. And thank you for all of the kind words that you said today. They are always, always encouraging this year so far. But my name is Shayna Halavac. I am the long-term sub at North Coventry in kindergarten for Mrs. Carr this year for the first half of the year. I also am a graduate of Westchester University. I have a dual, yes, I have a dual certification for early grades and special education. I have been using my degree for the past about 4 years as a kindergarten long-term sub in the Phoenixville School District. And last year I was at French Creek Elementary School helping out with our learning support kiddos over there. So now I'm very excited to be a part of the North Coventry team. And in my free time, I love to practice my photography. I go on hikes and try to practice different nature photography styles. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and finally up we have Mrs. Sugdenis. Mrs. Sugdenis, you're up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mrs. Sugdenis. I did not go to Westchester University. I went to Ohio State University. And I've been teaching out of state for the past 19 years. I'm new to Pennsylvania. I spent last year as a long-term sub in Downingtown, being a 6th grade English language arts teacher. This year I am in a math support role, the Title I math support teacher. And I don't have a lot of free time. I have 2 kids who are very busy and active in after-school activities. In fact, I have to pick one up from soccer here in a few minutes. So I do baking, and we spend a lot of time outside doing hikes and going to soccer games.
Welcome.
Great, thank you, Melissa. So we have a really good team, really happy to have our new 6 teachers join us. I think they're doing a fantastic job. It's heightened because of obviously what education and learning looks like at this time, and because of COVID-19. And I can't ask for anything more. So I'm proud of our new teachers, and I'm really happy for them to be a part of my team. So once again, welcome, and I'm glad you guys got an opportunity to talk a little bit here at this PTO meeting. So thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Bentman. So again, if just in case you joined us a little bit later, if you don't mind putting your name in the chat so that we can take attendance, that would be great. And this meeting is being recorded. So I just need to tell you that. I want to say in particular, welcome to any new families that might be out there. I can't see everybody right now, which is probably a good thing. We are trying to reach out to you. PTO always has this annual issue where we don't have everybody's emails. And so we have sort of a slow process to get those emails through the Skyward distribution list. So we've tried to reach out to you with Welcome Wagon, which we'll touch on later. And then also we've been trying to post occasionally on the kindergarten Facebook page just to try to catch some new families there. So we are trying to find you. If you want to be added to the distribution list, feel free to put your email in the chat and we'll try to catch that tonight. You can always email anybody on the board. Our contact info is on our PTO page, and we can get you hooked up with that. Okay, so welcome. We're not all scary. So speaking of all of us, why don't we start with some brief introductions just of the board so you guys see some familiar faces and some new faces on the board this year. Again, my name is Amy Lignelli. I have 3 children. One is in high school, which is unbelievable to me. Anna is 16. And then I have Jack, who's in 7th grade and getting used to the middle school. And then I have Cece. Cece's in 3rd grade with Mrs. Heckler. And we had some bumps in the road in the first couple weeks on our part because apparently tech skills are hereditary. And but Mrs. Heckler's been great getting us through all of that. So PTO president this year. I've been on the board for a couple years and have been helping since Anna was in 1st grade with Miss Scheib. So I've been here a while. If I seem like I am familiar with people, it's just because I've been around the block a few times, but I'm really willing to meet all sorts of new people and get you a little bit involved. So Tammy, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tammy Hartman. I have a daughter in 4th grade at North Coventry, well, Cyber. Her teacher is Mrs. Culp, who's actually a West Vincent teacher this year, and who's amazing, and she's having a really good year. I've been on the board for a couple of years. I'm the Vice President 1. So I oversee all of the fundraising initiatives, donations. I assist Amy as needed, and I pray that she never misses a meeting or her internet doesn't go out tonight so I don't have to take over. So that's me. Sarah, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi guys, I'm Sarah Herhall. I have 2 kids. Izzy is in 3rd grade. She has Mrs. O'Connell this year. And my little guy Derek's 3.5, so I'm home with them, helping them out, doing the virtual thing this year, and it's been interesting. It's been very interesting, but it's been good. I'm excited that everything's been fantastic so far. So thumbs up to everyone who's been on board with that one. But this is our 2nd year at North Coventry. We just moved last year, so I'm really excited to continue to get to know everyone, even though it is virtual, but I'm still very excited to get to know everyone. And when we are back in school as VP2, I'll be helping get volunteers signed up and assisting in any of our events that we will be having in school or virtually this year. All right, Ben, it's your turn. Tag.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi guys, my name is Ben Hendricks. I'm the treasurer of our PTO. I was the assistant treasurer for 3 years. So everything I learned from Deb, who I think's on tonight at soccer practice. So hi, Deb. I have 3 kiddos in the district. My son is in 8th grade. I have a daughter who's in 5th grade and another daughter who's in 3rd grade. And my wife is also a paraprofessional in the life skills class at French Creek. So we're busy with the district. When I'm not working on the PTO stuff, my full-time job is with Air Products. They're an industrial gas company where I do finance for them. And then outside of that, I love to be active outside, hike, bike, go running, whatever I can do outside. So I'm a big sports fan, so I keep busy like all of us. Thanks. Who's left? Jocelyn, you're up.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Bideman. I have 2 children. I have a 7th grader, Ethan, and I have a 5th grader, Daphne. Besides volunteering in my community, which I enjoy, I work part-time as a physical therapist, and I am the recording secretary, so I'm in charge of taking meeting minutes and attendance. So if you haven't already done so, please comment in the chat if you're here, and I pass it off to Marissa.
Hi everyone, my name is Marissa Stoltzhus. I am the corresponding secretary. This is my 4th year at this role. I have 3 sons, Xander, who's in 1st grade with Mrs. Scheib, Jackson, who's in 4th grade with Mrs. Bolin, and Braden, who's in 6th grade with Mrs. Colfer. I'm also a health and phys ed teacher at the high school, so it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm already seeing some kids that I knew at North Coventry, coming up eventually to the high school. So it's kind of neat to see everyone grow up.
All right, thank you. I feel like we all know you, Mr. Bentman. Did you want to say anything?
I'll tell you what, I do have someone else to introduce. So it looks like Miss Slomowitz just joined us. So Kaylee, are you there?
I am. Hi, I'm sorry. I was a little late, but I'm here. I'm Kaylee, and I'll be Tara Talley's LTS.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us. No, I have many things. Well, not many. I'll try to keep it short on the principal's report. But no, I just want to welcome everybody. I'm looking at we have 32 people here at the meeting, which is fantastic, Amy, to have such a nice crowd for our first meeting, which is great. And just excited for another year working with the PTO and doing great stuff for kids as much as we can. I know that the board has already been talking and trying to come in this unique environment, trying to come up with some things to kind of keep the home and school connection strong, as well as supporting the teachers through their endeavors as they kind of navigate this new year. So I want to thank the PTO for everything they've done, and I wish our new leadership and our PTO good luck this year.
Thanks. We're going to need it. Mrs. Bean is the head teacher at school. Most of you know her and her great smile. She joins us at the exec meetings, and happy to have her tonight. I don't know if you want to say anything, Mrs. Bean. Just a wave.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see so many familiar faces. I think I have the best job. It's like a secret position at North Coventry that I get to work with so many boys and girls kindergarten to 6th grade. So if you happen to be at drop-off, give me a wave and say hi. Mr. Bentman knows it's been a tough transition not being able to give hugs this year. So the air hugs are the new thing. But it's great to see so many people, and I look forward. I think this board has a lot of really great ideas, so I'm looking forward for everybody working together to make it a great year.
Thank you. So that is the board of directors for PTO. Normally, if we were all together, we would go around the room and introduce everybody. That's going to be a little bit harder to do tonight, so we'll have to save that for when we're back in person. But I do want to say the board is made up of, great people. It always has been, and everybody has a full plate, and everybody's busy, everybody's nervous, everybody's flailing around like everybody else. So I just ask that you be kind, you be patient with us. We are all ears if you have suggestions, if there are things that, we're focused on 6 different things and we forgot the 7th, feel free to remind us about that. And please also realize that we do need the help and we want the help. So it's okay to help a little tiny bit, and it's okay to help a lot, and we're open to it. I tend to see PTO and this whole organization, especially at NC, as a really beautiful puzzle. And so we've got little pieces and we have larger pieces, but you can't have the full picture if you don't have all of them working together. So the staff, the kids, the parents, the grandparents that are doing kid duty, the guardians, we're all part of this group. You're already a member, you don't have to sign up, there's no dues, and there's no other school in this district that has a PTO versus a PTA. So it's very inclusive. And it's okay to concentrate in one part of that puzzle and have an interest in a common bond, a common motivator in one part, and you can help with that part, and we'll be okay using the other pieces to fill in all the other holes. We like all the different colors, types, shapes of puzzle pieces, and we want them to, work together in ways that we can. And if it's just scanning your store receipts for box tops, or if it's buying something on Amazon, or if it's just showing up tonight, these are all great things. And this is really what makes, I think, NC special and a little bit different than every other school. Every school has its own culture in OJR, and I get that, but I'm glad that I'm here. So of course, this is where we would say what, Mr. Bentman? Hashtag
True North.
North, right? I had to get it in at least once.
It's good.
So the slippery side of a group that works well together is that sometimes it can be viewed as a clique. And I just need to address that quickly. A clique kind of indicates that there's some exclusivity. And really, when you work with people and you go through successes and failures, you have a familiarity together. And so if you're seeing us be familiar with each other, that's all that it is. So familiar people are happy to have more familiar people. So just keep that in mind. And if you ever feel unheard or excluded or something, I do want you to reach out so that we can address that. My email is sort of everywhere on things, so just always feel free to reach out. And for the most part, we've got a really no-fuss, hardworking group, and I love it. So thank you for joining us. Okay, enough with the SEL, right? We're going to move on. Okay. Jocelyn, do you want to talk about the May minutes?
Sure. So we're up to agenda item number 3, reading and approval of the May minutes. I hope everyone's had a chance to check the PTO website, or it was attached to Sunday's newsletter. So do I have anyone who wants to make a motion to approve the minutes as written for May?
Looks like Becky Whitehouse is making the motion.
Oh, did I miss
I'll
that?
second.
Who was the second? Tammy?
Tammy.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions or discussions regarding the minutes? All in favor of the minutes as written, say aye.
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 I think everyone else is muted, so it's just the board, unfortunately. Anyone opposed, you can always put in the chat as well.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, on to officers' reports. Marissa.
So hopefully everyone has been seeing some form of social media posts, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Those are the 3 platforms that we're using this year. Our social media for, oh, there we go, thanks Amy. Our social media for Facebook is simply North Coventry PTO. Our Twitter handle is just NC_PTO, and then Instagram is North Coventry PTO. We just try to post, important information there for everyone to see. So if you haven't liked any of those pages yet or want to follow us, that would be great. Stay in the know. We had a back to school breakfast for staff members the first day of in-service. And I usually at an in-person meeting, I would pass around all of our thank you notes that we have received. But just wanted to let you know, we received several thank you notes from faculty and staff members, just, saying how great it was and how appreciated, they felt, and they absolutely loved it. So that was nice to read and hear. And then lastly, Amy already hit on this a little bit, but we have a North Coventry welcome wagon. There are 18 new families. So again, if anyone is out there that is new, we welcome you. Our NC family is so wonderful. I'm truly so honored to be able to not only work in this district, but have my children attend in this district as well. So please feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions. If you have not received an email from the Welcome Wagon yet, it's simply because we are just trying to track those down. But again, we welcome all our new families and we hope you have a great year. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ben Hendricks, you are up.
Okay, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, Amy, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing we're going to go through is the budget for the 2020-2021 school year. So I'm going to take everyone through that. If there's questions, I'll stop at the end. We can discuss it. And then we have to vote on this. So the way I've broken the budget up is we'll go through expense items first. So think about this as cash that we're going to put out this year. And then we'll go over income. So that's money that we're going to bring in to the PTO. It's a little bit of a unique year, obviously. One, there was still a lot of money left over from last year from some events that didn't happen. So we had that kind of going into this year as a little bit of a headwind. And then the other thing is, we're not going to be doing a lot of the traditional events that we've been doing in the past years. So the budget reflects that, hopefully. And if there's any questions, please let's go over that at the end. So if we start with expense items, I have these broken out into categories and then individual items within those categories. So for student enrichment, we have the fall book fair. Again, this is expense, so we're going to put $10,000 out. This is a budget. The way the book fair works is whatever money we put out, that's the same amount of money that we would take in. So it's net neutral and it just washes itself out, but we need to have it as a line item in the budget. Field trips, we've budgeted $6,400. We talked with Brad, and that's assuming that there's either going to be some virtual field trips that we're going to support, or there's going to be something at the second half of the year that will hopefully happen that we can support. We have $3,000 budgeted for the t-shirts. And those are the t-shirts for the kiddos that everyone should have seen hopefully come through. We have $2,000 budgeted for assemblies or an author in residence. Again, that's assuming something's going to happen towards either the second half of the year or it would be something virtual that we would support. We have $1,000 for mini grant items. So mini grant are something that the teachers or staff can apply for, and we have guidelines around that. $650 for the 6th grade dance, $600 for walking club. Principal has a discretionary fund of $300. Each year we support the art department with framing, $250, and then recital accompanist, $150. And so that would be for 2 accompanists at the second half of the year. If we move on to community outreach programs, a total there of $20,115. The biggest piece of that is the Ashwood Apartment Family Fund of $18,000. Tammy's going to talk a lot more in detail about what we've already done with regards to supporting Ashwood families. Yearbook expense, $500. Families in need, $500. Winter Wonderland, we have that at $250. Not sure if they're going to talk tonight, but they still have some ideas of what they're hoping to be able to still do this year. The back to school breakfast, $250. March Madness, $200. The Someone Special Dance, $200. A welcome back activity, $105. A talent show, $50. Another welcome back activity or something specifically for the playground dedication fund, $35. And then bingo, which Sarah's going to talk about, $25. So again, kind of reflecting more of a second half of the year spend. PTO operations expense. So we have taxes. They've been $600 the past couple of years. I'm going to look into that this year. We kept the budgeted amount the same, but I'm going to look into that a little bit to see, you know, is that a good price for taxes, or can we do something better there? Insurance and bonding, because we are a 501c, we need to pay for that, $500. Petty cash, $400. Office supplies and paper, $150. Finance manager, so this was something new. It's an accounting software that we'd like to purchase for $129. We need some kind of tool to be able to manage the budget and all of the items that kind of come in and out. We've used QuickBooks in the past. You could use Excel. Finance manager is software provided by PTO Today. I really recommended it. I've used it. I like it. It's easy. The rest of the boards looked at it, so that's what we're proposing there. It's also more reasonable than QuickBooks when we compared prices there. Banking fees, $50. Correspondence, so this could be stamps, or it could be other stationery that Marissa would need to buy, $50. Bulletin board, $50. Other finance charges or banking fees, such as we need new checks, $50. Stamps, $25. Our small game license, $25. We have the website here. It's $0 this year. There may be some expense next school year, but we have that at $0 for this year. Fundraising activities, 6th grade yard signs, 1,100. So that was something we did last year, and we got good feedback, so we want to do it again next year. Craft fair vendor refund. So we're not going to have the craft fair this year, and there's some vendors that paid in advance, and we'll owe them a credit. So we have to give them their money back. Wawa coupons, $225. Dodgeball tournament, $100. I just left this in here. It's $0 for movie tickets and $0 for craft show. And then under recognition programs, we have the staff appreciation, $269. Part of the reason that that's a kind of an odd number is because we did have carryover from last year. So it's a little bit more than what last year's budget would have been. So those are all of the expense items. Again, in total, $48,688 of cash going out this year. I'll move on to the income side. So this is money we're going to bring in. On the Ashwood Apartments, 18,000. So again, it was 18,000 on the expense. It's 18,000 on the income side. It'll wash itself out. Tammy's going to talk more about how we're going to disperse those funds. Yearbooks, $500. Savings. So what we're budgeting to carry over into the next school year, 2021 to 2022, ends up being $13,488. We like to try to carry over somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000. That gives us enough money to do really the first, I would say, quarter to first half of activities without any other fundraising at the beginning of the year. So we're comfortable with that number. Student enrichment activities, there's the 10,000 for the book fair. So again, that's the in and out of, we're going to bring 10,000 in and we're going to expense 10,000. And then t-shirts. We've budgeted that we're going to bring in another 1,000 in t-shirts. So this is the additional t-shirts if parents or teachers would like to purchase t-shirts that we've promoted. Fundraising activities, so 6th grade yard signs. We're also going to have the option of people to purchase yard signs, so we're budgeting for some income there. Comedy club, Tammy's already started to promote that, and she'll probably talk a little bit more about that. But this is assuming, I think, 2 comedy club events, one in the fall and one in the spring, that we would bring in $1,200. The dodgeball tournament, we would bring in $1,000. Box tops, we're budgeting $600. That's continued to go down every year. So keep cutting your box tops, keep scanning them, sending them in because it helps. Spiritware, this is a fundraiser that Marissa usually helps around the winter holiday time, $500. Income from the Wawa coupons that we're going to try to sell, $300. Matching employee funds, we've budgeted $200. It's going to be more. It's going to be more than that, I'm expecting. This is like a matching gift program. So if your employer says that they'll match a donation that you make to a 501c, that's what we see here. And a lot of companies do this, and it's a great way to support the PTO. Amazon Smile, $150. This will probably come in higher, as a little bit higher as well. School magnets, $100. Nothing for movie tickets, craft show, and the donation jar is kind of small and an unknown amount, so we left that at 0. So that's the budget. I know I went through a lot. I went through it pretty fast, but I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions.
Teensy bit. You better be telling me the truth, child.
So I am unable to see the chat.
Deb raised her hand.
Function. Okay.
I just want to clarify regarding the taxes that this year they were a higher amount due to having to re-up the the tax exempt. So just so people understand that they were $600 this year due to that.
Okay.
I'm just clarifying so people, that's all. That's why they were $600 this year.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we put this to a vote? Okay. Ben, can you unshare so I can see the votes better? Thank you. Okay, so if there are no other questions, and you can always ask us later on, but
yeah, absolutely.
The vote. I'd like to propose that we approve this 2020-2021 PTO budget. Do I have a motion to do so? Mrs. Frosty?
Motion. I second.
Tammy seconds. Okay, all in favor?
Yep. Aye.
Aye.
Raise a hand, give a thumbs up, say it somewhere.
Yes.
Any opposed? I don't see any. Looks like we're ready to go. Jocelyn, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Um,
Do you want me to keep going and do the other part,
the August, yeah.
the August reconciliation?
Yep.
Okay, can you see my screen again?
I can.
So do you want to go through the August reconciliation? So we had an opening balance of $32,686.01. I'm going to go through chronologically the cash that went out and the cash that came in. So we had art framing of $250. This was for last year. The check was written in May timeframe, but then or June timeframe, and then got cashed in August. Then we had our first deposit for the Ashwood Family Fund, a cash deposit of almost $2,000. We had about $420 go out. This was for purchase of gift cards, for the first round of gift cards. And again, Tammy's going to give all the details on Ashwood, so I'm going to gloss over it a little bit quickly. Yearbook sales, we had $400 come in. Again, that was from the 1920 school year. Ashwood Family Fund, another cash deposit of $415. Then we had the PayPal link, which was a large deposit, Ashwood Family Fund of $11,367. In the month of August, we had Amazon Smile, $65.80 deposited. And then money that went out, this amount went out for an OJR employee who was impacted by the fire. And so there was a separate fundraiser that was started to raise money just for that case. Then we had a fight on McKenna. There was a check that got cashed in August in the amount of $2,150. The 1920 taxes were paid in August, $600. We had another debit card transaction for Ashwood Family. Again, these were for gift cards purchased, $125. There was a yearbook refund of $50. We had another deposit for Ashwood Family Funds of $248. Magnet and tote sales of $74. And then the last PayPal deposit for the Ashwood Family Funds, and this was mostly Boy Scouts, $145. And then for the teacher's breakfast from Grumpy's was the caterer that we used, $250. So again, our starting balance was $32,686.01. And we finished with a closing balance of $41,339.70. Are there any questions about August?
I think we're good.
So that's what I'll do each month. I'll go through the opening and closing balance, the ins and the outs. And then I'll also comment as we get on throughout the year how we're tracking towards the budget. If there's any questions about the money or the finances, or someone wants to see more detail or see it in a different way, please reach out to me anytime. Thanks.
And we were going to just touch on the fact that a financial control document will be on the website soon.
Yeah, so then the other thing I'm working on are financial controls. So we have a lot of good, I would say, practices in place with the PTO, like how to get reimbursed and making sure you have receipts and making sure 2 people sign a check. But I want to make sure it's all like well documented, and then it's all in one place. And then we can use that to actually audit the PTO to make sure we're doing what we say we would do. So they're close to being finished. We had a lot of other things to cover at this meeting, so we'll review those at the October meeting and then have those moving forward.
Great, thank you so
Thanks.
much. Sarah, you're up.
So in true form of this year being different, we moved the volunteer form that you would have typically gotten the back to school night. We moved it to online. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check that out on the website, or it was also linked in the newsletter that was just sent out on Sunday. If you're having trouble find it, please let us know and we will get it to you one way or the other. This is where we find out if you're available to volunteer for any particular upcoming event, whether it's going to be virtual or in person, or if you need to be if you want to be on call for a particular event. This is where we gather all that information so we know how to contact you and the best way for you to be contacted. Few housekeeping notes. We're still looking for a talent show chairperson. So if you are interested in doing that or want to know more about that, let me know and I will gladly walk you through that. Fingers crossed that, later half of the year that will still be happening. We also need photographers for the yearbook. So when we are doing events back in person, definitely going to need photographers for those, and also kind of going back to everyone sharing pictures with us virtually right now, because we still want to show what all the kiddos have been doing this year. So if you can share those pictures with us as well, that would be fantastic. And when we do go back to school, if you haven't gotten your clearances yet in order to be able to be a parent volunteer, please do so. You can access those from the school's website, and it tells you exactly what you need in order to be able to volunteer. Again, if you have questions, aren't sure if yours have expired or where to find those, just ask, and we'd be more than happy to help you out with those. And I think that's all I have at the moment. We are planning on bingo, our first virtual bingo in November. November 6th is the date that we picked. It's a Friday. More details to follow on that one. I will have something out on the website soon for everyone to be able to join us, and the logistics on how you're going to use the bingo cards and all those fun, exciting things.
Thank you, Sarah. Tammy, you're up.
Okay, time's ticking away here, so I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I can. But so fundraising for this year has obviously changed our state of affairs. So with COVID, we're not doing a large scale fundraiser for both social distance reasons and economic reasons. So since we have less events that we're doing as well, we don't need to raise as much money. However, we would still like to fund any creative pandemic friendly events or programs, initiatives that we come up with throughout the year, in addition to some of the other objectives we have to fulfill our mission for them. So looking at the fundraising losses for the year, we have lost, our Giant program has changed, so we're no longer going to be getting Giant. And that was a donation to the tune of about $10,000. Ludwig's Corner Horse Show was about $400. Box Tops has gone down. In 2018, it was about $1,400. In 19, it was $800. So that number has continued to go down with the changeover to the digital app. So there are some things that we can do with that to try to help kind of cushion that, and we'll look at that as we get to that part into further down in my report. Craft show is another big hit that we've lost, so that's usually about $5,000. So as we're approaching this year, instead of doing a big push for donations and a drive for money, we're going to still do some fundraising, but it's going to be more of a passive approach to it. We're going to be partnering with businesses that are willing to donate a percentage of their profits to us. So if we can put a link on our website and they're willing to give us some percentage, then kind of offer that to our families without doing some major, fundraising, capital fund type of goal. So we also wanted to increase some of the diversity of businesses that we work with as well. So that leads us to the fundraisers that we have slated for this year, or at least this first part of the year. So right now we currently have Amazon Smile. For this quarter, we're at $65.80. As both web-based and app-based, we now have confirmed that you can get Amazon Smile. We can still raise money whether you're using the website or the app. We have Box Tops also currently running. Currently, we're at $31.20 for the year. Box Tops is using, we're still clipping some hard box tops, and we can still hand those in to the school. Mrs. Coffer is hoping to have them by October 16th so that she can then submit them for our next November. The app it's a free app. You download the app, you scan your receipt, and you get points for anything on your receipt that is box top specific, and that has a box top on it. And the boxes and products that still carry those will be labeled as such. There is a couple of specials this week or this month. There's some double box points, and then there's a refer a friend. So if you can think of somebody or maybe a new parent at North Coventry or something, and you refer them to use the box top, if they scan it within the next week, then we get an extra $5 for just for that each person. So that could help kind of bump that up a little bit. School toolbox. The matching funds program. Ben touched on this a little bit in the finance report. So any employers that offer matching funds, if you want to talk to them, then, even if you just do something, $5 out of a paycheck, they match. That all adds up the more people that we have, and, throughout the year as the paychecks go. So that's a helpful, it's easy, and it's growing for us, and it's been, more lucrative than in previous years. So school toolbox is still running. Normally this ends in September because school starts and everything's done. But this year they're holding it until the end of October for anybody that is going back into school and needs supplies or held off on getting supplies because they were virtual or cyber or anything to that effect. So that will continue. We've raised $224.16 for that. Upcoming fundraiser, we're doing Soul Joel's Comedy Club at their outdoor amphitheater in October. It'll be October 29th, and it'll be a little chilly. But we're also going to be selling blankets, North Coventry blankets, at the show. It's outdoor, it's social distance. You bring your own chair, your own food, and beverage. And it's one of those, it's a really fun night, and it can be as safe as, as you'd like it to be. We have Spiritware coming up. The Spiritware store is going to open up in October, in about the middle of October, and Danielle Willauer is now going to be heading that up, which is wonderful, and we appreciate her taking that on. She's already well on her way to getting that going. Additionally, one of the things that we're going to have on the website is Mickman wreaths, and these are fresh wreaths and centerpieces, door wreaths and centerpieces that you can order if you're interested. For every wreath that is sold, you receive $8. It's a pretty good profit for the for the amount of that the wreaths are. Most of the wreaths are around $24, so that's really good for us. Again, it's something that will be on the website for people that are interested. We are working on a program with Monkeyfish Toys in November to have a toy sale. Monkeyfish has agreed to partner with us. They're going to give you a 10% discount for shopping with them, and then they will give us 10% of all of the profit they make. They're going to do a Facebook Live or something to that effect, live video for us to walk you through their store, showing you not only the store, but what hot toys are and items are going for this holiday season. Monkeyfish is a local toy store that is one of the few in the area where you can actually walk in and buy toys. They have really awesome, unique items, and it's really just it's a great store. They also have an online site, obviously. So we're looking forward to that happening in November. We're also still selling magnets. In fact, we sold some more magnets, some iPaw NC magnets during Kinder Camp, as well as some of our totes. The total for the sales of the magnets was $74, and that that was just very surprising and great. Our new kindergarten parents were really happy to get some of our North Coventry gear. So then that's it for what we have set for going into this year. If you have any suggestions, we have a form. I'll talk about that when we get into our website, but we would love to hear from anybody that's willing to, that has any ideas or suggestions for other things. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Again, if anybody has questions or comments, you can use that chat function and hopefully someone will see it. And in the meantime, thank you for all that. We've got, my report is next. So in the spring, Casey had done this great survey that went to parents. And I don't know if you remember taking it or not, but basically it talks about the things you like and the things you don't like as far as what PTO does in terms of fundraisers and events. So I wanted to let you know that we do look at the results of that, and that kind of helps steer us for planning, for a new year. Of course, this year is a little strange, so we had to shelve some things that even everybody liked. We also did a staff survey to kind of gauge any needs or feedback from staff, and we use that as well to, my kids, there they are. They were told to be quiet. And anyway, so we use those surveys, and it helps to steer us a little bit. We also worked a little bit on a strategic plan for PTO, and it's just sort of meant to be a document that goes on for a few years and allows for some consistency in what the goals are and what the mission is for PTO. So that is on our NC PTO website. You can take a look at that. As a board, we set some pretty good goals. A lot of them are usual goals, and then we had some sort of new ones that popped up. We did a little bit of a reorganization of the board, and we are trying to increase our communication by adding things like Instagram and Twitter. And we're continuing to try to work on relationships between PTO and teachers and parents, and continuing to kind of foster making that as good as it can be. So that's something we always work on. It always needs to be a goal because that makes everything work. And we also are looking to support diversity and inclusion within the school and some mental health initiatives. So that's all those things, those three things: strategic goal or strategic plan, our goals, and the spring surveys were things that kind of helped dictate how we proceed for this year. Another new thing that's happening this year, and Mr. Bentman can talk about this for a second, the task forces within the building. This is not actually a PTO thing, except we've been tied in a little bit this year, which is exciting. Do you want to talk about that for a quick sec, Mr. Bentman?
Sure. So just some structural information, how we kind of do some things here at North Coventry, maybe more behind the scenes. So we have a task force committee set up here at North Coventry. There's much to do kind of behind the scenes to prepare for the kids and to prepare for certain events and things like that, and to make things generally go smoothly throughout the process. So we have 5 task force throughout the school year. This year, our task force include social emotional learning, which is a really big district goal, not only for the school board, but for the administration as well, and also North Coventry. Social emotional learning is a big piece. There was a lot of training last year with different parent groups, different teacher groups, and student groups through the IU and Tom Stecker. And so this year we are moving forward with the next phase. That task force is led by Mrs. Beeler, Mrs. Bean, and Mrs. Grasshoff, and Mrs. Lignelli is our parent rep for that. As Amy talked about diversity, that's another very important topic within our school and within our district, a district goal as well. And so we have our own diversity task force, and we're currently reading Raising Race Questions by Allie Michael. Is the book that was chosen, which is a very good book, and it it's going to lead our team into an inquiry project, research-based project for North Coventry on an area that we want to kind of ask questions and look to make some improvement. So we're looking forward to that process. That's led by Mrs. Colfer, Mrs. Bevan, and our parent rep for that is Mrs. Hartman. Our Health and Wellness Committee really focuses on Joanne Recton. If you those familiar with Joanne Recton, she runs kind of she's the kind of PR person for the district, but also works a lot with the Pottstown Health and Wellness Society and different grants and things like that. And we also have our own health and wellness team here at North Coventry. That is led by Mrs. Mooney, one of our special education teachers, and Mrs. Lemma. And we have a parent rep, Mrs. Bideman, who has a health background herself as she is a physical therapist. So we're looking forward to that team continuing the good work that we've done and hopefully get some grant money as well through that process. The next one is school climate, which I think is a very important task force this year, just because of the new kind of setup we have here at North Coventry, and making sure that we're always kind of keeping a beat and a steady kind of an ear to the door, so to speak, on how our school climate is going. It's important that our children feel safe and welcome, and our adults as well. So trying to do a lot of the nice things that we see on social media. I know Marissa talked about social media in the beginning with the new PTO Twitter handle and page. I cannot stress this, more. A lot of people are getting their information from Facebook and Twitter. Whether you agree or disagree, it really seems to be the way to get information in 2020. And so I definitely think if you don't have a Twitter handle already, you can get one and just kind of follow, not post, but follow, because there's a lot of good information out there on Twitter. It's a little different than Facebook, but a lot of good information out there on Twitter. And then also, if you don't have Facebook, even if you just get Facebook to keep up with kind of the ongoings and things like that. And so that's the School Climate Committee. We have Mrs. Allen, one of our special education teachers, Mrs. Levins, one of our music teachers, and Mrs. Herhall is the parent rep for that. And so I kind of tried to tie this through the board, but we also there'll be other opportunities for parents to get involved as well if you're interested, so just let me know. But we're looking for someone specific for our Staff Energizer Task Force. This is actually I say a little bit of a fun and games committee for North Coventry. That's led by Mrs. Palmer, who is our academic coach, and Mrs. Youngblood, who is has children in the building, and a teacher here at reading specialist here at North Coventry. And so we have an opening spot for a parent rep to be on our Staff Energizer. So if you like to have fun and games and just kind of energize the staff in different neat ways, this is definitely the committee for you if this is something you'd be interested in, would like to be the parent rep for this. If you are interested, you can email Amy Lignelli and just some with information about your interest in being the parent rep. And commitment-wise, I will tell you the biggest thing are meetings, which are the second Wednesday of the month from 12 to 1. Those meetings are virtual, so that might help for any working parents out there. And so, so if you're interested, just email Amy.
Thank you. I put my email in the chat. Aren't I so techie? It's amazing. Stephanie, I saw you shrink away from the screen there. I saw that. Okay, thank you. So newsletters and email collection, I just wanted to touch on real quick. Can you give me a thumbs up if you got 2 emails from, it looks like it's from me, it's from PTO this weekend. There was one Saturday morning about a t-shirt for if you wanted to order as an adult. And then a second one was Sunday night with the newsletter. We have a lot of delivery problems with our service right now. So I just wanted to kind of get a gauge if people got both of those. I didn't even get one of them, so that was extra fun. But we're working on it. The newsletters are all posted on the website. So if you feel like you've missed something, please go there and you will find them. If you know that you are not on our distribution list because you have no idea what I'm talking about, feel free to put your name in the chat and your email and we'll add you. So a quick thanks to the board. As you can tell, because of COVID, because of 1,000 things, it's been a bit of a summer. We had Ashwood and that big relief effort, which was something we were happy to help with, but it was a ton of work. And we had some reorganization things we needed to go through and some great exercises in that. So I just wanted to thank all of them, because we've done new web pages and we've done new financial software and all the research that goes into that. So thank you guys for sticking with it. And also, of course, thanks to Mr. Bentman and the staff for making this year launch. I mean, it is crazy. And for the most part, I think at this point, things are going pretty smoothly. So not always great, but it's going well. So thank you. And it helps us all remember how much we like in-person school and all of those things. Okay, old business. So we had a staff welcome breakfast, as we usually do. This year we got to include the paraprofessionals because they were scheduled to come in on the same day. And we were able to give them a gift. This was one of them. This was an awesome mask made by Stephanie Moore. She made them for everybody on the staff. Everyone loves this type of mask and the adjustable things around the ears and everything. We had to bump up the price a little bit here. If you notice the difference between last year's budget and this year's budget for staff appreciation, it is different. Part of that was serving a lot more people, and part of it was trying to make it a comfortable, safe situation. So we had to work with a caterer that prepackaged everything, and Grumpy's really knocked it out of the park. They take special precautions with COVID regulations for personal reasons there. So I felt really comfortable working with them, and I think they did a great job. But the price was a little bit higher, but I think our staff is worth it. So hopefully, it seemed like they enjoyed it. Chalk the Walk was something also that we did. This is something that's not often advertised, and the reason is to keep it a little bit of a secret for the staff and the kids that are walking into the building. If this is something you think that you would like to be involved with, certainly you can email Sarah. Sarah, you can even put your email in the chat for people for next year. We had a great turnout, and we had Danielle thought it would be great to do a drone, and we had Grace and Rose donate time and drone services. So that was awesome, and I love the video that came out of that. If you haven't seen it, that is on our website as well. So thank you both to everybody that showed up, of course, and Danielle for taking it one step higher. New business. So the event calendar, I ended up attaching that to the agenda. And so it's only through December because, I mean, what's the point of planning beyond that? I don't know. And we've had to rework so many things. So we're just trying to get through that far. So Sarah mentioned virtual bingo. We have a book fair that may be virtual. We're tossing around a couple of ideas there. So that would be around November time. We have Soul Joe's, of course, which will be good for everybody's mental health, I think. And then we have Winter Wonderland on the 4th. So you can take a look at that list. That's information is also on the website. And we'll get
Amy, there's a question that came through, maybe for you or for Brad, about would an outdoor craft show be considered? Do you want to comment on that?
So yes, thank you. So Trish Lay, who is our chairperson for that, considered all sorts of different things. And she was really in touch with all of the vendors and crafters who were actually fantastic in being supportive about our limitations with having that. We wanted to have the craft show very much, but it became pretty obvious early on from their feedback and our logistics with hosting anything with any kind of crowd on the school campus that it just wasn't quite feasible. A lot of the vendors have crafts that are really specific to the holidays, and so they were very comfortable just making it happen next year. But yeah, Trish vetted that out. Thank you for the heads up. So committee reports. We do have a diversity subcommittee, which is starting up. And in the newsletter I sent out Sunday, which is now on the website, you can see the email for April Sabo, who is heading that up. We're very excited about that one, and more details to come for that. But if you want to be involved in that, we would love to have you for sure. Ben, do you want to talk about the mental health subcommittee?
Sure. So mental health is something that's personal to me and something that I'm passionate about. And I think the PTO is a great platform to bring some of those topics forward. Removing stigmas, creating a safe place to be able to talk about mental health issues, and maybe most importantly is providing resources. Personally, I can say the Mental Health Network is a labyrinth to try to figure out and get help when you need it. So this year we're going to do a series of events to try to bring some of those resources forward, and would love people to get involved. We had some social media postings the first week of September. That was to kick off that September's National Suicide Prevention Month. And to kind of round that out, next week, we're going to have a mental health Zoom call with some really great speakers that I'm really excited about. We'll have Dr. Schneider, who's Owen J. Roberts' school psychologist. We're going to have a local counselor, a private practice counselor speak. We have a doctor from Philadelphia who actually works at Einstein Medical, and she's the head of the mental health program there. And then lastly, we have a speaker, a young adult speaker, who's going to be able to talk through his experience living with mental health and what his journey's been like. So really excited. Hope people can join next week and continue to be part of a voice in helping our kiddos and each other.
Thank you. We also are hoping to put some resources on the website. The tech gods were not my friend today. And so a couple of things I was trying to launch on there didn't happen, but it's coming, promise. Trish Falcone, are you around? If you can unmute yourself, you can talk about, there you are.
Hi.
Winter
Hello.
Wonderland. Go for it.
Okay, hi, I'm Trish Falcone. I have twins, Roman and Violet, in 3rd grade in Miss Flex class this year. If you don't know me, I've been helping with Wonderland for the last few years with my partner in crime, Miss Stephanie Moore. I can't do without you, girl. She's awesome. So we are trying to make this happen this year the best we can. So it's happening Friday, December 4th. Is the date. So put on your calendars. We're, like I said, trying our best to make it happen any way we can. Given that we are trying to figure out if we can do a drive-through type of event. So the thought that we're kind of tossing around would be to maybe have some blow up Christmas lights along the way, and then a little tent where you have your little to-go bag packed of craft items, and then you take it home. And Steph and I are working on it, so we're still trying to iron out the details. But if you happen to have any easy to plug in Christmas lights, the blow up kind, let us know, because we need some experts in exterior illumination. So that would be something that would make it extra fun for the kids. I also think it's going to be great if we can make it a drive-through event for so that we can kind of get everybody involved, especially because we don't know whether we're going to be in school, not school, like whatever, but it would be something that everybody can do. So if you're virtual, you could still come and do this and do it at home and whatever. So if you're interested in helping at all, we definitely would need some helpers for sorting, packing, all that kind of stuff, handing out. Like I said, if you have lights, things like that, we could definitely use your help. I will put my email address in the chat there. It's trish_falcone@yahoo.com, but I'll put it on there. But yeah, we're excited. We want to make it happen. So
thank you. Thank you. Okay, Tammy.
Okay, just real quick, I missed something in my notes, and I just wanted to thank Danielle Willauer because she headed up our magnet and tote sales for Kinder Camp, which was super successful for, magnet sales, right? So, okay, so I'm going to just quickly review kind of the background and where things stand with Ashwood. So as most of you know, that there was a fire on the 30th of July at Ashwood Apartments in our community, 45 units. and 120 people and 7 North Coventry families were displaced. Mr. Benman opened up the school to accept and distribute donations, made that decision pretty much right away. And starting on Friday, we had overwhelming support showing of the community. People came from all over with donations of goods, money, time, and manpower, and it was amazing. We mobilized a donation center and a distribution store where families could come and shop for the goods that they were able to take at that time, and we offered them the option to store things until they were ready and outside of temporary placement and into something more permanent. To date, we have collected over $18,000 in cash, and then more in gift cards that were brought to the donation center and distribution center the first weekend, well, and the week following of the opening of the center. At this point, the plan for distribution is, in the first step, we gave each North Coventry family that came through $125 in gift cards, and we gave families that were not North Coventry or residents that were not that weren't families with North Coventry kids gift cards as well. The second installation is, or second distribution is $500 Target gift cards, and Mrs. Grassoff has those currently. She's reached out to all the families to let them know it's there for them to pick up, and they're planning to pick those gift cards up this week. Then the next step will be another $500 gift card, a Visa gift card, and Mrs. Grassoff will have that for our North Coventry families to pick up. That's the next step. And then following that, closer to the holidays, a little bit before Thanksgiving, we plan to have a $675 gift card for each of our North Coventry families heading into the holidays. Then once and because like here and there collections have come in or money has come in a little bit and gift cards and things of that nature, we're going to wait until after that final North Coventry disbursement, and then we're going to take any additional funds, which at this point is a little over $6,500, and distribute that to TCN, which is the Tri-County Network, which is the group that is managing the funds that numerous organizations have collected for the families of Ashwood. And the point in having all the money go there is that TCN can then help them with bigger ticket items. They can help them with first month's rent, last month's rent, electric bills, things of that nature. So that's why we're putting that money toward that. And just to note that we did have certain donations that came in were earmarked specifically for North Coventry families, and some donations were for the general fund. And then just to note, and I think if you saw that in Ben's budget, we collected on behalf of the district, we collected $2,000 for one of our North Coventry employees. And so then that check was also, that was distributed to that employee, and that was driven by Dr. Lloyd. So at this point, many of our residents have moved into permanent housing. However, many of them still remain in temporary situations. All residents have been assigned a caseworker, and then that caseworker is helping them find placement and things of that nature, depending on, and helping them kind of work through the whole process. Because as you can imagine, there's a lot of work that goes into, and unknown that goes into kind of resetting things. So what we know at this point is that all of the residents that are in hotels or that are in some kind of paid temporary situation, they're going to be covered for at least this week and the next week or two for sure. And it seems like the pattern has been they're covered for a week or two, and then as things get close, then something else happens and they're covered again. So and I believe that a lot of that has to do with TCN, but I'm not completely sure if that's not Chester County Emergency Services. So things are moving along there. The recovery center that was originally in Norco Firehouse has moved to, just lost the name.
Liberty Thrift. Liberty.
Thank you, Liberty Thrift. And there's a special room in Liberty Thrift where that donation and distribution center is maintaining so that they can continue to serve the residents as they need things. And again, as they get more permanent housing or, they need more toilet paper or things of that nature. They're gonna try to hold that open as long as possible, even if they go down to just like appointment only, or if they get into a situation where they're no longer able to staff it full time, but Liberty will have a key to that room. And so people can go in, if they come into Liberty, they're able to come in and go ahead and shop and get things that they need. So that's going, and Josh Park is still putting up posts about things that are coming in. I think I just saw last week that there was a brand new table set that was dropped off, dining room set for people, and they're encouraging people to come in and keep getting the stuff that they need. So that's the update for Ashwood.
Thank you. Please know that everybody sort of dropped everything and jumped in there. Tammy led it up. She did a fantastic job. So thank you again for all the volunteers for that huge effort. So the next thing on the agenda is yearbooks. Just a quick mention, we are going to actually have a yearbook this year. It may be a little bit smaller, but right now we're shooting for the same size and also hardback, which is great. So last year, ending in June, we didn't have as many sales as we had hoped because no one was in school. And so as we have over the last couple of years, we're going to continue to scale down the amount that we promised to buy to make it a little bit more economical for PTO. So you will always get a yearbook by pre-ordering one. There will just be a few less at the end for the extras. So keep sending in pictures of first day, first week, Say Hello Week, Veterans Day when that comes up, Halloween, to that NC yearbook email. And that is actually on the webpage as well, if you want to send some photos. Next, we get to add to the ranks here and appoint our assistant treasurer. So this is notice that we have asked Tav Bonsall to come on. I'm going to try to find you here. Where are you? There you are.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hi, guys.
So she join us as assistant treasurer. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I was just going to say hi. I have a first grader who is in Miss Scheib's cyber class and doing as well as can be expected. And I have another son who will be in kindergarten next year. We've been in the district for 3 years now, and I'm excited to help Ben and the PTO and whatever I can.
Thank you. And congratulations.
Thanks.
Welcome.
So our annual t-shirts, the kids version of that, we had a ton of responses with the sizes. I have to track down a couple people, but that's happening and PTO will pay for those. And then if you want to buy an adult version of the t-shirt, we have V-neck or crew neck available. That link has been out on some newsletters and Mr. Bentman's newsletter as well. So Friday is the deadline for that. So get your order in if you would like. You don't have to pay for shipping. It can come right to school. If you want to have it shipped to your house, that's okay too. Also keep in mind, Spirit Wear is coming in October. So if you're not digging the shirt, other options are coming. And Danielle is, she's on it. Tammy, back to you with a new website.
Okay, last time for me, I promise. So we've been working on a new website because if anybody's ever tried to do anything on the OJR website, it's clunky and hard to deal with. And well, it's just, it is what it is. So the new PTO website is, it's a template, basically a third-party website. It's PT Board, which is a company that specifically has a site that is used for PTOs and PTAs. So our new website address is ncpto.pto, ncpto.ptboard.com. We'll be sending out invitations for that for people to sign up. We also will put on social media the link, and there's a QR code to make it really easy. But we'll ask people to sign up. It'll have events, sign-ups, volunteer forms, student parent directory. When you sign up, you have the ability to put the information in about your kids, and if you want that posted so that other parents can find you to connect with your children or anything for that of that nature, that'll be housed there as well. We'll be able to purchase items and fill out forms for events or sell tickets for events or things of that nature. You can pay online for things too. That's a big bonus. It'll be easier to find the PTO information on this website. That's a big thing for us. It'll house more information. We can give you more resources and know that if it's something related to the PTO or if it's something that the PTO might have a connection to, then you can just go right to that one spot and you can find calendar dates and information to help you just in that one spot. So that's a big bonus for us as well, just having everything coming in through one place. In fact, one of the things on that site right now is a fundraiser suggestion form. So you can go on and suggest a fundraiser if you have an idea for something. So, so please keep an eye out for that, and that's coming very soon. We just have to kind of give it a final once over, and that baby's done. Okay, back to you, Aim.
Thank you. So the last vote of the night, yay! The diversity task force this is not PTO, this is school, but with PTO representation, obviously. They're looking into purchasing some new books to help with lessons within the school. And so we would like to give them some money in a couple different forms. There might be some teacher applications for a mini grant, some scholastic dollars, and then we'd like to vote to use some of our giant funds to help if they need more money to accomplish what they're trying to, which aligns right with our goals as well. So I'd like to propose that we allow up to $300 of our giant funds to be used for the purchase of books that focus on diversity and inclusion. So would somebody like to make a motion for me? Tab makes a motion. Is there
I thought Stephanie seconded it then too.
Okay. Any concerns, any questions, discussion on it? I know it's getting late. Okay, then we will move to vote on this. So if you approve of up to $300 of giant funds being used for this initiative, give us a thumbs up, little guy, or something in the chat, or just say yes. Okay, any opposed? Okay, I don't even think there's a thumbs down. So that's helpful. Okay. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Bentman, on to principal's report, sir.
All right, so I just have a quick list. I'll try to be as brief as possible and go through my list here. First, I want to thanks for everybody for coming. It's a good group, a good crowd. So please keep coming. What we do is important. What the PTO does is important, and the fact that you're here, I'm kind of preaching to the choir. But once again, thanks for showing up and supporting North Coventry. Just a kind of a few things. So Mrs. Sussmuth, so Deb and Casey Shaw, those two wonderful people are our building subs for this school year. We're super happy to have them on board. They've been a huge help so far throughout the process. As Deb has in the past and will continue to do so, and Casey now this year, they might be the substitute teacher for your child this year at one point. In fact, there's a really good chance that at one point during the year, you'll see their faces on a Google Meet, or your children might see them in person. So really happy to have them on board. It's a huge piece to what we do here each day. And so, as you know, both of them and what great people they are, they will be supporting our children here this year. So That's that information. I want to thank the board and Tammy for her leadership with the Ashwood relief effort. It was as surreal as it can get in a situation like that. It happened rather quickly. We opened up the doors and the floodgates, and in it came. And thinking back, I mean, we could write a short story about it, how that experience went from the first minute of collecting to the last minute, and then seeing people benefit and really help them just in their that day to get what they needed was just amazing to see, and the community coming together for something like that. I was in the midst of opening up a school in a pandemic, and the building was just finished. It just got finished cleaned for the summer, and I had a store in my school, and it was packed to the gills. And every step of the way, the PTO board and Tammy just took care of it, and I didn't have to think twice or even have to worry about it. She just kind of they put my mind at ease throughout that whole process. So I'm just so thankful that what we could do for the residents of Ashwood as they still continue to need things and move on with their new beginning. So thank you. I want to thank Mrs. Moore for the masks. They were a huge hit. I have mine in my desk, and the staff is wearing them often. So I couldn't imagine. It would probably take me at least I would say 3.5 years to do that. And you did it in a matter of weeks. And they all fit. And so I don't know how you do it. I'm amazed at stuff like that when people can just make those things. So nice job, Mrs. Moore, and thank you for those masks. I also want to thank Operation Reindeer for providing Chromebooks for all of our kiddos that were part of the Ashwood community. And Mr. Colball, who has a child here at North Coventry, he graciously purchased 11 Nintendo Switches for the kiddos too. So that was awesome. He actually couldn't find Nintendo Switches. Apparently they're hard to get, I guess, because of COVID. So he called Nintendo, and they had just enough for him to purchase. So kudos to him and his son for providing those. And I'm sure I'm missing other people, and a ton of people gave and things like that. But thank you all for the whole process. All in all, the ups and downs. I try to give it to people straight. I mean, it's a year. It's a different year, and we are all working. My team is working as hard as they can to do what they need for your kids. I go to sleep each night blessed to the team I have here, the teachers I have here at North Coventry. As I talked about the parents, about the Ashwood Apartments, I talk about my team and my teachers here, that I know that the kids are in great hands, and they just get it done and take care of business. And so blessed to have them, and we are moving forward with what we have. Definitely the ups and downs. As I told the board, I'm very empathetic. I have 3 of my own at home, and I know what everybody's going through. I'm not there with them, but at the same time, I hear them and I talk to them in the evening. So we're all going to get through this, and I think we'll be stronger in some areas because of it. So there will be some good things, I think, that come out of it. I know a lot of you are probably saying, "How is that possible?" But I think it's going to happen. Just a reminder: Wednesday is a school day. Mornings are for meetings, small group support, things like that, office hours, and then the teachers in the afternoon on Wednesdays are busy meeting with each other, meeting with me, meeting with their teams and things like that. Won't be available Wednesday afternoons as much as they are, if at all, they are in the mornings on Wednesday. So I know that some of you were on the school board meeting last night, or you might have been on the school board meeting last night, or maybe heard through maybe Facebook and some other social media outlets, and then just word of mouth. We are working on to get kids back in the building. That's the goal. Blended model's the goal. The district, if you're watching the meetings, it's, we want kids in the building, right? That's the best spot for them to be for learning. But at the same time, we want them to be safe and healthy. And that's the number one goal. So as we continue to look at data trends with COVID and cases in Chester County, if the time is right and if the metrics are the way that we need them to be, we're going to begin our blended program. You saw the letter that the principal set out today. If you can get a chance to see that, make sure you take a look at it and read it, because as we move forward, this is going to be another step to the process as we make changes and movement and try to set our stage for our turn on October 12th for our already kids and blended already, and then anybody looking to switch at the end of the quarter. And I believe the date is the start date of November 9th, if I'm not mistaken. End of the quarter, not trimester. Originally, it was the end of the trimester, which was December 4th, but we moved that up. Definitely take a look at that email, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me for that. So attendance is important, and I know it does look a little differently this year. So, you know, people get sick, and we get it. So just make sure you call the attendance hotline so we can make sure we code attendance the right way. And also make sure you're at home monitoring COVID-19 monitoring symptoms for COVID-19 so you can help continue to keep our rates down here in the building, obviously, and then obviously in Chester County. There's 2 big technology resources online. There's a lot of really good things online on the OJR website, and it's all on the website. There's a parent help ticket for any type of technology needs you might have that we can help with, and there's also Accelerate resource portion on our web page. So definitely check that out, and gives you a lot of good information throughout the process. We're continually adding things. There's also Google Classroom and Accelerate vignettes as well to take a look at. If you are interested in applying for free and reduced lunch, the deadline is October 20th. So if you think you might qualify, check it out and apply, because it's an opportunity to hopefully maybe take a burden off a family who needs food support specifically for the children. So that information is on the website as well. The parent handbook and the digital teaching and learning handbook are online as well. Those are Google websites. They're almost like little mini Google websites within a website. It's a pretty cool tool that we use. So that information is there. So there's some new information, so check that out as well. And just some Title I updates. As you know, I always have a Title I update within my report. We are a Title I building, and it's an important piece to our culture here at North Coventry. Our Title I teachers are assessing students receiving services before last March 13th, and all new students. More specifically, we're assessing students 2 to 5 or grades 2nd to 5th for math. We have 3 qualifiers for both ELA and math. Assessments will be completed by October 1st. Students who qualify will be supported in a cyber or blended option. So if your child qualifies and they do make the qualification piece to that, and we have the spot for them, they will be serviced whether they're in blended or whether they're in cyber. For those who qualify, please look for a Title I parent virtual meeting sometime in October. And those of you who have kiddos who have qualified for reading or math support, we typically have our meeting in October. Last year we had it in the library. If you can kind of think back, we'll have the same type of meeting, but it will be virtual. More information to come. We do have new team members to our Title I. You obviously met Mrs. Sigdenis, who is Mrs. Duvall's math partner this year, while Mrs. Lemuel is home, ready to prepare for her new little one that's coming. Mrs. Bittler, who's been a teacher here at North Coventry for quite some time, has kids in the district. She is now a reading specialist and partnering up with the 2 reading specialists that are there already. So welcome them to the team. And they are great additions to the Title I team, no doubt. The Title I team and I would like to thank the parents who filled out our Title I parent survey last spring. As we move forward, please feel free to send us any input, thoughts, comments, or ideas you may have. And finally, I would like to thank the Title I team as they continue to work hard, gather data, and support the classroom teachers. The parents for working with our assessment schedule. I know it's been difficult being the teacher at times and just being there for your kiddo and your child, so thank you. And the classroom teachers, of course, for supporting the students in the virtual and in-person environment. I thank you, everybody, and I'm really proud of my team as we kind of move into the 4th week of school. That concludes my report. Mrs. Lignelli.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Here's my promise. We will not have meetings this long. It's always the first one. I'm sorry. I know bedtime's coming up. I'm seeing all these little kids come to say hello and say, Mom, why aren't you off the phone? Or Dad, why aren't you off the phone? So we're going to conclude very fast. Quick plug for next week. This document is on the website for the mental health Zoom. It's next Tuesday. And Ben has a great agenda, and he has it down to a science. I think it looks like a hour and 15 minutes. So you'll beat me. But there are some great people on this call. So I really encourage you to come and listen in if you can, for sure. So we have a 3-day weekend coming up. Hallelujah. I hope all is well. If there are any families, including yourselves or anybody else who could use some help because of things that happen with COVID or just because life is kind of crazy, please reach out to us. And thanks for the air hug. And I have a message about that on the website, but it's really far down because we've got all these other things, great things going on. So please reach out if there's anything that we can do for you. That's the whole mission of PTO. So thank you for coming. We will maybe see you next Tuesday and maybe next month. And we're going to adjourn unless there's anything anyone needs to say. They're like, stop talking. Okay, so what time is it? 8:39. We will call it done. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Take care. Have a good week.
We bored him, Amy.
What's that?
Thanks.
We bored him.
He's just sleeping away, huh? Hi, Avery.
That was cute.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Izzy said to say hi,
Bye.
Mr. Bentman.
Bye, Izzy.
Bye, Mr. Bentman.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. No.
Yes, yes.
Don't leave meeting.
My baby.
I'm gonna leave the meeting.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, Jocelyn, how you doing?
I think I got most of it.
Okay.
It's 4 pages long. So I might need to weed it down a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine. That was a lot. Thank you.
So
Feel like you got everybody attendance-wise?
I have a zillion trillion names, but I'm going to quick go through my list to see, because I went through the participants, and so some of them did not necessarily have, not everyone, at least I didn't see in my chat, not everyone did say that whether they were here or not.
Yeah.
But I did go through who was in attendance, and so I might have someone's iPhone number, but not like a full name.
Right.
So I will go through and then I'll type that up. Do you want me to send that to you before I send that to Mr. Bentman?
It can be at the same time, I think.
Or just copy you on it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I did say that there were 32 participants at one point. So hopefully I have 32 names here.
Right.
But I think I'm good. So
Okay.
I'll send that off tonight. The notes will probably come at a later time.
I'm ready to check out of PTO for at least, 10 hours.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Been great. Bye.